The real reason why it's so difficult for you is because God chose you for the job. God chose you to do something that wasn't nobody else in the bloodline willing to do. He chose you to do something that everybody else was afraid to do. Everybody else was scared of the fight. But you, my friend, you're a beast. And God knows that, even if you don't know it right now. Okay? You got them hands in the spirit. You probably don't even know that right now. But God know what he put on the inside of you. See, whatever God is telling you to do, leading you to do, it ain't gonna make sense to carnal minds. It ain't gonna make sense. It won't make sense to carnal minds. It ain't gonna make sense to you at first. When you finally see what God has for you, what he wants you to do, you can be like, huh? Excuse me, Lord? What you mean? How am I supposed to do this? But the reason why it's hard for you is because you are the one for the job. The reason why it's hard for you is because you on the front line. Ain't nobody ever done this work before. You don't know what you're doing. Your mission, your assignment requires faith. It requires you trusting God. You can't do this by yourself. Everybody else out there doing everything by themselves. And you got to trust in God. You got to believe God for your walk. Everybody out here all lollygagging, going whichever way the wind blow them. They going in one direction and God said, go that way. They all going that way and God said, go that way. Go do that. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. And it ain't supposed to make sense to the carnal mind. Like, they not supposed to understand it. That's why we are called to not tell people what it is that God has been showing us, what it is that God has been telling us to do, leading us to do. We're not supposed to be telling them. They don't understand, so of course they gonna talk down on it. They don't understand, so of course they gonna tell you, you can't do that. You ain't gonna be successful at that. You might as well just go ahead and just do such and such. They telling you to do what makes sense to them. But see, dang, God showed me something different. I know I ain't supposed to be doing that. I know I ain't supposed to be doing that over there. I know he told me to go do that. You got to trust God in order to do that. And it is not easy. Okay? You got to literally walk by faith every single day. Step into a higher version of yourself every single day. Get new knowledge every single day. Whatever God put on the inside of you, you cannot afford to stay the same. Oh my God, that is so good. That is so good. Put that in the comments, by the way. I cannot afford to stay the same. You can't afford to stay the same because God has bigger for you on your life. God has placed something immaculate on the inside of you. So you can't afford to stay the same. You can't stay complacent like everybody else. You can't stay in your comfort zone like everybody else. You can't be working at dead-end job for the rest of your life like everybody else doing. You know, God got something way bigger for you. Major. And it's hard because you are literally on the front line. You are a trailblazer. The trail has never been walked. The path that God has you taken has never been traveled. There is no path. You're creating the path. You are. Did nobody else create the path in your bloodline? So you are responsible for shifting the entire trajectory of your bloodline. You are. And that's why it's hard for you. That's why it's difficult for you. You having to undo everything that everybody else done in your family bloodline. Everything that people have come into agreement with, people have normalized in your bloodline. You are having to undo all of that. To hit the reboot button and reprogram your mind so that the generations to come behind you don't repeat them same old toxic cycles. Don't repeat them generational curses. They don't repeat those cycles. They don't repeat those patterns. So it's bigger than you. Put that in the comments. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. So of course it's gonna be hard. If it's bigger than you, of course you got to trust God with your whole heart. If it's bigger than you, you can't even see how big it is. You can know that it's big and still not see how big it is. You don't know how big it is. And you got to trust God every step of the way, because if he show you the whole thing, you gonna get scared and back out. See, he ain't gonna show you the whole thing. He only gonna show you the first step. Here, take this step. Do this. Boom, you do that. Okay, here go the next step. He ain't gonna show you the whole staircase. So you got to trust him with all your heart. Lean not onto your own understanding, but in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. That's Proverbs 3:5-6. You can't lean on your own understanding. Like I said, carnal minds can't understand what it is that God wants you to do. It don't make sense. You travel on a narrow path. It's a narrow road. It's lonely. That journey is lonely. And then you start meeting people who are on that same journey. Eventually you meet those people. But you got to be okay. First, you got to be okay with it just being you and God. Until you are content with it just being you and God, you're going to stay stuck. You're going to stay stagnant. You're going to keep on complaining. I'm lonely. I want a friend. I want a partner. I want to worry about the wrong stuff. You're going to stay worried about the wrong stuff if you're not content with it just being you and God. And on this journey, you got to discipline yourself. You got to discipline yourself to wake up early, complete your assignments, your work, whatever it is that God has you doing. Especially if he don't call you from work. He done called you off of work, like working somebody's job. If he ain't got you working nobody's job, discipline is required. Consistency, showing up every single day, doing the thing every single day. Don't nobody want to do that. Everybody else comfortable with what they got going on. They comfortable with it. They have literally settled at a low point in their life. They settled for that. They said they don't want no more than that. They don't wanna try to go out and do nothing better. They are comfortable with that. But God is calling you to higher. God is holding you to a higher standard. He got something bigger and better for you. So that means you got to do something better. You got to do something different. Ain't no way in the world you're going to be able to get different results if you're doing the same thing over and over again. There is no way. So, with all that being said, your path is harder. It's harder than everybody else. It look different than everybody else's. It ain't gonna look like nobody else's. So you got to take your eyes off of Tom, Dick, and Harry and them journey. What they got going on in their life. Take your eyes off of it. That cannot be your focus. Your focus should be what God got you working on. That's your focus. That's what you need to be working on. What God wants you to work on. It's hard because all you know is the programming that was instilled into you. That's all you know. It's normal for you. Toxicity was normalized. Chaos, dysfunction. That stuff was normalized. And so you got to do the unprogramming. Hit the reboot button. Because if not, you're going to go down that same path that everybody else going down. But you got to understand that it's harder for you. It's different for you. It's you don't fit in with other people, and you never will. If you're the type of person that has never fit in with other people, You always felt left out. You always felt like you stood out like a sore thumb. You being called to greater, to higher. So that means you got to do something different. You got to show up differently. And it's okay that you got to like separate yourself from people. Especially people that done showed you their true colors. You got to walk away from these folks. You can't be connected to them. Elevation requires separation. It does. And you got to be okay with that. The same way, I'm thinking about how like in movies, how some men, they go off like to the military, to the army or something like that, and then they come back completely changed, totally different when they come back. Some of them come back worse than what they were, and some of them come back way better than what they were. You are on an assignment for God. You on a mission for God. In order to complete the mission, you got to go in a different direction. It's going to be hard for you, and you got to be okay with it. It's going to be hard for you to do it by yourself, but easier, a little bit easier, a little bit lighter when you relying on God, when you depending on God. So your faith is required. Your faith is required to complete the mission, to complete the assignment. You got to increase your faith. Put it in the comments. I'm increasing my faith. You got to trust God more. That's hard. That's hard. Like going from doing everything on your own and having to show up, especially if you're like a single mom, having to pick up somebody else's slack. You doing everything on your own. You are working day in, day out. You're doing things to make sure your children are taken care of, bills taken care of. They got food on the table, roof over your head, clothes on their back, all that kind of stuff. Like you are doing everything that you need to do, and you going from that to completely trusting God, surrendering, and relying on Him. That's hard. It's a transition, like that transition in between survival mode to thriving. That transition period in between, like it's hard, and it's hard to not go back, to like not revert back to what you used to do, who you used to hang around, what you used to entertain, how you used to speak, how you used to move. Like it's hard to not go back to that during that transition period. That's where a lot of people give up, because it get hard. It get hard right there. But it's only hard when you are lacking faith, when you are not trusting God, when you are trying to rely on your own understanding, when you're trying to use your carnal mind to comprehend the journey. You cannot do that. We are spiritual beings. Therefore, we have to move in the Spirit. We have to be moved by the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Because if not, you're going to get lost in the sauce and you're going to revert back. That's what majority of people do. That's why you see a lot of people, they leave from their hometown or something like that, and then they come back and then they end up worse off than they normally are. I mean, than they was before. I'm sitting here looking at this lady. Every time she parked this car, she always parked on the line. That's so crazy to me. Like, you don't know how to park yet? You have an opportunity to park that car every day. Let me mind my business. Let me mind my business. But that, like, we're going to use that for an example. You got an opportunity to do better, but you come back and you do the same thing over and over again. You go backwards. You revert back to making the same mistake. Like, you got to learn from your mistakes. If you do something wrong, boom, fix it, learn from it, don't do it again. Don't revert back. Like in the transitional period from surviving to thriving, this is where you're learning, like learning lessons, learning how to back up a car, learning how to park, how to drive. You are learning what to do and what not to do. You are learning from your past mistakes. You are learning that, okay, this is not somebody that I need to be connected to. Like, this is a learning period, a learning phase, a learning stage. You learning every single day, either way. But survival mode had you always on edge. It has you trying to understand things from your own understanding, your carnal mind. Thriving mode, in order to get over there, you got to move with the spirit. You can't be moved by your flesh. You can't be moved by what everybody else doing. You can't be moved by what you see with your eyes. Walk by faith and not by sight. Faith is moving in the spirit, moving with the Holy Spirit. Your eyes can't see that. So it's going to be hard for you. It's going to be tough for you. It's going to be tough if you try to keep trying to understand it with your own limited capacity. You need a new perspective. You need a new perspective. You need to get new knowledge. You need to have wise leaders in your life, mentor, therapist, counselor, wise leadership in your life that can teach you something new, that can give you more knowledge of the spiritual realm, more knowledge of spiritual warfare, help you understand your dreams, your visions. Surround yourself with people who are doing better than you. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to be better, to do better. That's going to be necessary too. Like a community, having a community of like-minded people who are doing something better, people who are doing what it is that you want to do. That's very important for where God is taking you. Like, you can't do it by yourself. God is going to lead the right people your way. He's going to lead you to the right resources. He's going to send resources your way, opportunities your way, the right people your way. And it's up to you to take the next step to invest in yourself, whether that's time, money, energy, resources, whatever it is that you have. Like, you have to invest in yourself in order to get to the next level. Like, you can't just sit there and do it on your own. And you're going to get those people are going to come. The people that are for you, the people that are going to actually help you without throwing it back in your face. The people who are going to be there for you and support you and not kick you while you're trying. They're not going to be threatened by you healing. They're not going to be threatened by you leveling up. See, them people that were connected to the old version of you, they was threatened. Still are. They threatened by you leveling up. They threatened by you healing. They threatened by your growth. Because it exposes their insecurities, their toxicity, their lack of change and growth. It exposes that your growth, your healing, your leveling up, your elevation exposes what they not doing, where they lacking it, where they still struggling at. And rather than them taking it as an opportunity for their own growth, they take it as they take offense to it. And they start showing all that hatred, that jealousy, that bitterness, that resentment towards you. Those not the people God gonna send your way. God gonna send people your way that are there for you for real. That want to see you do good. They want to see you elevate. They want to see you rise. They want to go see you do something great, be successful. That's what they want for you. So he gonna send them people your way to help you on your journey. Think about yourself walking down a path. There's nobody on this path. Nobody on this narrow road. And every now and then you pass by you pass by somebody. Every now and then, somebody passing you. Every now and then, you run into somebody. You meet somebody. Opportunity. New experience. New people. New knowledge. Products and services. Wise leaders. You're going to meet the right people along the way, but you got to be okay with it just being you and God. And if you keep trying to understand it from your own comprehension, your own mind, your own carnal mind, if you keep trying to understand it from that place, you're going to keep being burnt out, keep being frustrated, keep giving up and repeating the cycle over again, keep falling back into your old patterns, your old habits, your old ways. You're going to keep going back. You're going to keep reverting back. And that is what you do not want to do. You don't want to revert back. You want to keep moving forward so that you can get to that next level of elevation. It is literally right around the corner. It's right there within arm's reach if you just keep showing up, keep disciplining yourself, keep being consistent, keep doing the thing that God's been telling you to do. Even when you don't see results right now in your physical reality, it's okay. It's going to come. It's going to happen for you. It takes time for a tree or a plant or a tree or a plant to sprout up after you done planted the seed. You got to keep showing up, keep watering that thing. Keep speaking life into that thing. Speak life over yourself. That's another thing too. Speak life. Don't be complaining. Like, don't complain about how hard it is. It's not hard. It's hard because that's what you see it as. But when you rely on God, it's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit easier. It's the transition is smoother. It's better. But you got to be able to see that. So understand that your journey ain't gonna look like nobody else's. Ain't nobody else gonna understand what it is that God got you working on. So ain't no need in trying to explain to Tom, Dick, and Harry and them what God got you doing, because they not gonna understand and they gonna speak fear into it, and you ain't gonna want to do it no more. So your obedience is tied to somebody's breakthrough. Somebody's breakthrough is tied to you opening up your mouth. Somebody's breakthrough is tied to you being obedient to that instruction God gave you a while ago. Somebody's healing, somebody's deliverance, somebody getting out of a tough situation is tied to you being obedient. So that's all I'm saying. Don't get discouraged on this journey now. And it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to give up. It's easy to just fall off and revert back, because that's what majority of people do. There's only 1% that will continue to travel that narrow path and reach that level of success that they've been praying for. And if you're part of the 1%, I want you to drop that in the comments before you get out this video. I'm part of the 1%. Okay? Now, thank y'all so much for coming to my video and listening to my TED Talk. If you're somebody who is trying to break toxic cycles, I created a free guide. It's called 10 Steps to Break Toxic Cycles and Reclaim Your Confidence. I'll leave it in the pinned comments down below. All the important links and resources are down in the description box. If you want to take your healing a step further, I created a bundle called Healing After Narcissism. If you've been through narcissistic abuse, you're trying to heal, reprogram your mind, get your mind back on right so that you can walk confidently and boldly into what God has for you, go check out that bundle and grab it if you need to. Okay, you got a lifetime access to it. Once you purchase it, it's yours. But yes, if you want to support, definitely check out all my resources, the important links. Go look at my stores, see what I got to offer. Okay, but definitely go grab that free guide, 10 Steps to Breaking Toxic Cycles and Reclaim Your Confidence. If this video resonated with you, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I love to see y'all comments. I love y'all so much. And share this video out with somebody that might need it, because I know you know somebody that might need this video. All right, if you ain't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button And turn on your notification bells because I upload a video every single day. Okay? Smash that like button before you get off of here. I love you, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.